Well, hi again everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Garrett here with 11 Bang Bang. Now generally on our channel we like to do guns from the 18th and 19th century. Today we have something a little different. This is the Mossberg 500 in a cruiser grip. And this belongs to my uncle. He purchased this back in the 90s and he's running a Nebo light system on there with a Protect mount. And this is his home defense gun. Let's load it up and take a few shots. Let's start with some bird shot here. Now, most of you that know your shotguns know that when you're running a Mossberg, you don't have to mess with a loading gate like you would on a Remington 870, which is a plus in my opinion. The question is, and there we go, that's all she'll hold. We can top it off with one more. To safety. All right, let's see. Today we are definitely wearing safety glasses because when you're shooting at steel with things like birdshot, it tends to come back. Oh yeah. Now the trick to these guns is to hold them with a grip forward, with your forward grip extended all the way, pushing out and pulling back on the pistol grip. That tends to mitigate recoil, at least with lighter loads. Let's go over here and, like right here. See, with birdshot, recoil is no big deal at all with one of these. And that brings up the question, can you use birdshot? Flinch a little bit. Can you use birdshot for home defense? Well, we already have a video up on that very subject. Want to go back and look at it, I would say that you can use birdshot for home defense. I do. My home defense shotgun is a Winchester Model 97 with a good 4-shot or even 6-shot. Anywhere up to 5, 6, 7 yards, that pattern's going to hit like this, and about that big around. If you don't think that's deadly, just do a quick Google search of killed by birdshot. And you will see some very grisly images of people that tried to break into people's homes or even people that were murdered. Still not as effective as buckshot, of course, but some people who live in apartments and things like that have to worry about over-penetration. Birdshot is a good answer for that. Run a few more. Now, I'm not in any way an expert with a cruiser grip. I would prefer to have a whole stock myself, but my uncle has had this gun since the 90s. And he runs this cruiser grip and he's actually fairly surgical with it. As a matter of fact, he has a laser mounted in this Nebo light and he can really lay down some fire. All right, let's see what we can't do to these water bottles. Remember, forward grip hard, pull back onto that grip. Ah, there went the paint can. So yeah, it is. It's accurate enough if you shoot it that way. Let's try a little hip fire. Now, more than likely, I can't hit the side of a barn shooting from my hip with one of these, but that's how they do it in the movies. So let's load up 3. Let's go over here on this steel plate. Another thing about the Mossberg 500, safety here. This is excellent for a lefty like me because slide release being right here, when you're shooting with your left hand, reach it with that finger, and the safety is ambidextrous. All right, from the hip. Ooh, I don't like that. Well, we hit the top bottle. Like I said, I can't hit anything from the hip. That's why I prefer to use the straight forward arm, get it up there just like it's a regular shotgun. Will it run these cheap, what my brother calls Alumaboom shells? Now what happens is this aluminum expands, I think what happens is it expands and doesn't retract like brass. And so they tend to get stuck in, some shotguns they tend to get stuck in the chamber. As a matter of fact, I've ran these through an older Remington Model 11. Like may I believe that one was made in the early 1920s. And 2 shots in, I ripped the extractors out of it. And so you got to be careful running aluminums in a semi-auto. because they could get jammed in there and you could rip the extractor out. But let's see how they run in this old Mossberg 500. Gonna run, well, let's just load it up. Alright, safety off. Let's see what we can't do. Let's shoot some bottles. Yeah, not very potent at 15 yards, are they? But yes, the old Mossberg 500 will run a Luma boom. And you know what? I really do like it. I didn't think I would like that cruiser grip as well as I have today. Mainly because I probably always tried to shoot it from the hip before. Now the next question you get is, if you're not going to use bird shot on a cruiser grip shotgun, what about recoil from heavier loads? Well, I don't have any buckshot today because buckshot's hard to come by in the current political climate, but I do have these slugs. Now, generally a slug weighing 1 ounce coming out of this thing, I can tell you from experience, will really hurt your wrist. But I've come across these Remington AccuTip 385 grain Sabo slug. Get a look at that. Now these are very expensive, $22 for a box of 5. You're paying over $4 a shot for these. They've got that little plastic nose on them, and what's happening is they've cut down on the weight, which should recut your recoil quite a bit, but it also speeds up the projectile. They're claiming out of this box, now I don't know what barrel length they use to get this velocity, but the advertised velocity is 1900 feet per second with a 385 grain bullet. Oh, you're gonna get more foot-pounds out of this than you will a 30-06, I believe. Because it's going a little slower than a 30-06, but it might be pretty even. But the weight of the projectile is almost 100 grains heavier. Usually people shooting their 30-06s like an electrician's load, 110 to 220. These are, what did it say, 385? Yes, 385 grains. So, the question is, and these are 3-inch shells, by the way, this Mossberg has a 3-inch chamber. The question is, how is the recoil going to be on these things and how hard will they hit? Well, I'm actually going to use the laser. I'm going to see where these things hit and how bad they kick. Alright, I'm going to take a hard grip on this thing. They kick hard. And I think I missed the target. That's $4. Let's try one of these closer targets. They kick hard off this cruiser grip. Oh yeah. They hit hard too. See, I got one more of those in here. Those things hit with some authority. Let's hit this other one. See if my wrist can take it. Oh, wow. We've never knocked one of those off before. So, yep. I'll tell you right now, even with that lower grain on these slugs, if you're going to use that for home defense, you might want to get one of those straps that they use on the Shockwave, because that dude is going to jump out of your hand. Alright, here's Caleb. He's by far a better wing shooter with a shotgun than me, but he hasn't really ran a cruiser grip on a wing shot before. So here, he's going to try throwing his own clay and see if he can hit it with that cruiser grip Mossberg 500. Give us another one. Okay. I'll try it. Ready? Yeah, sure. Could be one more left. Might as well use it. Right dead center. Aim at that front one. Dead center. What do you think of that recoil?
Pretty good.
Alright guys, we're out of ammo. Of course we have our backup in case we run into any ruffians on the way home, but when I came out here this morning with this pistol grip on this gun, I honestly expected to absolutely hate this cruiser grip. In the past, I've tried to shoot it from the hip as a kid, you know, and I haven't been able to hit anything with it. But, you know, I watched some YouTube videos over the past few years of people saying that these things are terrible. Some people are like, yeah, they're not so bad if you use the correct grip. And I'm here to tell you that grip, especially with a lighter load, push forward hard, pull back on the pistol grip, will be effective. It's basically the same as using a stock. I still prefer the stock. We will put a full length stock on this gun out here when Ethan gets back, and he'll come back and run this Mossberg 500 military style the way he was trained. But all in all, I gotta say, I really am enjoying this Mossberg. I have 870s, always have all my life, but I've always kind of put Mossberg in a tier under them. But after having run this one again, after several years of having not run it, I think I might get me one. Being left-handed, I love the safety. I love the slide release. You know, they always talk about the Mossberg shake. Doesn't really bother me that bad. You know, maybe my next home defense shotgun. You can never have too many home defense shotguns. Anyway, that's all we have for the Mossberg 500 Cruiser. Thanks for watching.